Just Outdoors is brought to you in part by the following community supporters.
Jurvelin Hardware Inc., Deer River. Jurvelin Hardware offers a broad selection of paints and sporting goods and a complete line of plumbing and electrical supplies. Jurvelin Hardware, 108 Main Avenue, Deer River.
Meds One Emergency Medical Services. Meds One provides mobile advanced life support, community paramedic primary care services, and education, event medical support, and consulting. Preserving lives and improving health. In an emergency, always call 911.
This program is sponsored in part by Brewed Awakenings Coffee House. Brewed Awakenings is a green business with the mission to be a cafe where a person can eat every day and be healthy. Nurture your inner being at Brewed Awakenings, downtown Grand Rapids on Highway 2 East, across from the courthouse.
Hi, my name is Tom Chapin and welcome to Just Outdoors, ICTV. We're going to do a special program today, outdoors, kind of unique, hopefully for people that are watching that hunt, that haven't done this in a long time or have never done it, but we're going to hunt snowshoe hares today. We're on a morning here that it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. It's about 8 degrees out, fairly cold. And we found a place actually where there's a population of rabbits. Rabbits and hares. The varying hare is actually what it's called. It's a snowshoe hare. It's not the cottontail that you see around your house in town. This is a snowshoe hare. And it's a really a good game animal. The season is open until the end of February. And it's an animal that I personally have hunted for years since I was a young child, and also a lot of folks over 50 can remember hunting rabbits and snowshoe hares, and right now it's really hard to find pockets of these. And we did find a pocket here along this county road, and we're going to go in and hunt with 3 folks that are going to make a drive, and we're going to do some hare hunting here. I just want to fill you in a little about the animal itself. I took some notes here. They're very shy and they're very secretive. They don't feed during the day, so you have to kind of rustle them out of their sleeping areas during the day. They feed at night. These rabbits, they have large feet. They have black tips on their ears and they're all white. And of course in the summer they're all brown. They change color in the wintertime. So they're very difficult to see while you're hunting them. And what you're looking for is really the black eye in the tip of the ears, because that's sometimes all you see. A lot of times they're just sitting there. And for them to run, they have to be scared out of their little areas where they sit. They're usually in depressions. You see them in depressions in the woods. The thicker the brush that you can hunt in, the more rabbits you're going to find, the more hares you're going to find. The heavy spruce, the balsam, tag alder, if you can get into that thick area, you're going to see tracks and you're going to see a lot more activity in those areas. These rabbits, they eat twigs, they like to eat tree bark, especially popple tree bark. They eat buds from all the different plants over the winter. And they're active at night, like I said. That's usually when they're out, so it's really tough to get them out during the day. But, you know, if you can make a drive with a bunch of people in your party, you're going to probably see some. As far as how many rabbits there are, this rabbit population has been going down for a long time. The last time I remember hunting rabbits where there was a high population, a huntable population, was about 1984. And since then, the rabbit population has dropped. Some of the biologists say in Minnesota, northern Minnesota, about 98% it's dropped. They really don't know why. It hasn't been figured out yet exactly what's causing this, but there's really a low rabbit population right now. So if you can find a pocket of them around where there are some, that's where you hunt. They have a gestation period of 37 days, so they have about 3 to 4 litters per year. It's quite a unique animal. They're born with fur, and their eyes are open, and in about 25 days they're ready to go as an adult rabbit. And so there's a lot of rabbits that can be produced during the year. There's just something happening out there that is not allowing this throughout the whole state. There's just these pockets you can find of rabbits. There have been population cycles from 7 to 17 years. But these tend to be scattered. They're all over, but they're hard to find. They can wander. Some of these rabbits can wander for about 5 miles to find food. So it's an interesting hunt. I hope you have a good time watching this. We're going to show some of the activity that takes place with the hunters and how we try to approach these animals. And hopefully we'll be successful this morning. And maybe we can show you a rabbit, and then we'll show you what we do with a rabbit. We eat all these rabbits that we get, and they're very, very fun to hunt. So let's go on the rabbit hunt. Okay, I thought before we go out in the woods, we'd actually take a look at the firearms that we're using. Each of us are unique on what we're carrying. You can use a shotgun, you can use a .22 rifle, and I thought my partners here, we'd show what each of us is carrying. I myself personally like a 410, and so this is one of the newer 410. It's called a coach gun. It's only got a 20-inch barrel on it. Very light. It's about 6.5 pounds. It's easy to carry in the woods because you can hold it like this and you're not hitting the ground. And it's just a nice little gun for rabbits, for snowshoe hare. And so this is my personal weapon, or firearm that I'm using. Roger, what do you have here?
The 410 pump. Very simple. I like it.
Okay, 410 pump. There's another 410. 410s are great for this type of animal. And having a pump, you've got extra shells in there. How many can that hold there?
I believe it's 3.
3, okay. Okay.
We shoot number 5 shot. So.
Number 5 shot. There you go. Very good, thank you. Okay, Larry, what do you got here? You got an older gun. This looks like a collector item.
This is an old 22 pump, and I like it because it doesn't destroy too much of the meat when you hit them with a 410.
And you use low velocity shells?
Today I'm using the low velocity 22 shells.
So all those 22s that are sitting around that you haven't shot for years, this is a good sport right here, this snowshoe hare hunting. And hopefully we're going to show you some rabbits today. But that's what Larry picked, so thank you. And Dan?
Unlike the rest of these guys, I don't use a gun, I just chase them down and I grab a hold of them by the head and wring their neck.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we know you, Dan, so...
Yeah, what I carry is, I call it my cruiser gun, and it fits underneath my cruiser vest really well. And this gun's kind of fun because it is obviously easy to carry because it sits right in the holster. It's a break action Thompson Contender, and this is a 45 410 barrel, 45 Colt 410 barrel. And it's interesting because there's an insert that goes in the last inch of the barrel that straightens out the rifling in it so that when you shoot the 410 shell, you get a nice pattern. And out to about 20 yards, this will work really well for obviously snowshoe hare, what we're doing today. And I've shot many a grouse with it. And I try to shoot them in the head. Today I'm using 4s to minimize the amount of shot that will be in the animal. But it's a really good gun to carry in the snowshoe hare woods.
And I know it's a good gun because we've been hunting for a long time, and I don't remember you ever missing a rabbit. I think you're about 100%.
There's always a first, but
well,
we'll see what
it may not be today,
yeah, that's right.
But sometime down the line, I'm sure. Yeah. Another thing I want to emphasize here is safety. All of us know how to Watch the muzzle. Make sure it's not pointed at anybody. It's a good thing to do while you're hunting in a group. Always think safety. And you notice we all got bright orange on. And boy, is that nice when you get in a thick area, because areas we're going to hunt are going to be very, very thick. The thicker, the better. Now, you just walked in the woods just now where we're going to hunt. What'd you see, Dan?
Well, we went down into kind of a little drainage ditch here, kind of a tag alder, spruce, tamarack, fir area. And on the way down there to take a look at that area, we saw 10 separate timberwolf track in there, along with a lot of snowshoe hare sign. So we'll have to see what happens here, but there has been a lot of hares spending time in that area. We'll see how successful the wolves were, and we'll see how successful we are.
Well, you wouldn't see wolves in that area unless there were something to eat.
Exactly.
And so they're probably eating.
The fact that they're there is a good reason for us to be there.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll get going here. We'll start to form a line in the woods. We'll show how we do that a little later here, and then we'll start hunting.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, we got our 3 hunters, and they're going to go in the woods at a perpendicular to the road, and the hunter on this side is going to go in about 20 yards, and they're going to put about 20 yards between each other. And so as they're walking then, as we walk parallel to the road, once everybody gets in there, everybody on the left of the first hunter here along the road will keep the same distance. So whatever this individual does, they'll stay the same distance all the way along. And that's pretty much the way to do it. Otherwise it gets too confusing in there. And so you gotta just keep an eye on the person on your right and you'll be fine. And we're gonna walk real slow. So as we go, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna be behind these hunters, and we're gonna see if we can pick up somebody actually shooting at a varying hare. We're walking very slow and looking around from both sides, because a lot of these hares will run forward and then make a circle and run back between the hunters. And so you're always looking to the side besides looking ahead. And you're always just trying to spot that little black eye sitting there. Most of the rabbits that we do hunt and do shoot are sitting, because shooting at a running rabbit is really difficult. And so if they do take off, they're going to eventually stop, and that's when you have to then go to that area where you saw them stop and see if you can spot them. Okay, we're going to head over. We just heard a shot. And it sounds like Dan may have shot one with his handgun. So let's just kind of head over toward his area and see what he's got. Okay, let us know where you are, Dan, so I don't see you yet. Okay, I can hear you. You're just ahead of me. We're going to come over and take a look and see what you got there. Okay, you can see Dan standing there through the spruce trees, and we're going to walk over and see what kind of habitat and how he got this thing. Okay. And as you're going here, you can see the tracks. They're just solid tracks and paths and areas for those rabbits to hide. Little depressions, that's where they sit all night. And now we're going to go over and see what Dan's got here. You're successful, Dan.
Yeah, see all this balsam fir, all the bark has been chewed off here and the droppings around it.
Why don't you get a shot of that here if you can. You can see when we mentioned that they do eat bark off of trees, look at this. This has all been gnawed down. This is their winter food. And you shot this rabbit not too far from that winter food.
Yeah, Larry was off to my right here, and him and Roger have been watching a hare, just bumping it here, you know, for the last probably 50 to 100 yards. And so I kind of faded a little bit more to the south. And I don't know if it was the same hare or not, but I happened to see it sitting right over here about 15 yards away. So stopped the line so everybody was safe, and got the shot. So it's,
okay.
I can walk over there and pick it up. You can stand right here where I shot it.
Why don't we do that?
And I had to kind of line up my shot so I didn't shoot too much brush and trees, but I was able to sneak some pellets through there. And I'll go over there, and it's just right down here.
Why don't you go over and pick it up and just bring it back here? That'd be great.
Sounds good.
Keep going.
Right here is where he was sitting, so I got a pretty clean shot through there. There he is right there. I don't know if you can see him or not.
Yeah.
But
I'll just kind of bring it over here.
bring him towards you.
Bring it right up and we'll take a look at it. And they're an animal that weighs about 2.5 to 3 pounds. A lot, probably 30% bigger than a cottontail that you see around.
And obviously, they're called snowshoe hare. You see those big feet on there? They're like big snowshoes. Look how they spread out.
Run right on top.
Right on top of the snow.
And that's how they attempt to get away from their predators.
Yep.
And so there you go.
The wolves have been in here working them, but so far I haven't seen any sign where they actually caught one. But
there's some brown on that rabbit yet, I noticed.
A little brown on it,
yeah.
Slowly turning white.
It hasn't turned totally white yet. There's a little brown.
Yep.
And there's the tips on the ears right there. Right on the edge of the ears. And there's that black eye you see.
Yep.
So, well, that'll turn into some food eventually. Yep. We don't waste these rabbits. We eat every one of them. And we'll show you later what we do with them.
Yep.
Okay, we just saw one. Dan just saw one, and Larry just saw one, probably the same rabbit, and I just saw him skip by in front of Dan, who's walking to my right down through there. And he went straight ahead of Dan, running straight ahead. So we're going to go around and see if we can kind of flush him out in kind of a circle here. Got information that Dan possibly shot another one, so we're going to go in that direction where Dan is and find out exactly what he got. I actually saw the rabbit, and we had followed it and pursued it here for about 50 yards. So we'll see what we got right through here. Okay, very good. I see Dan there, and he's standing by the snowshoe hare that he shot. I'm going to walk up toward him and see what he got. Okay, here we are. Here's Dan. Stooped down by the rabbit. That's the exact spot where he shot him.
No, actually, Tom, he was between Larry and I saw him sitting. I think we'd bumped him a few times. And then I saw him sitting, and I took a shot. It was a tough shot. And then he ran. He made kind of a big loop out through here, but I could see a little bit of blood coming out of his nose. And Larry saw exactly where he last saw him, or where he stopped. Yeah. And so I walked over here, and I was looking in the wrong spot, and Larry said, "Turn around." I turned around. Here he laid right here. So he went for a nice little loop here before he exploded.
Okay, so there it is right there. And that's looks like a little older rabbit than the last one. It's all white. That's as white as they're going to get right there. Last one was a little brown, so that's a little bit, you can tell, a bit longer, a little bit bigger animal there. So you're successful on 2, Dan, so far.
Yeah, I thought maybe I'd missed this one, but I guess not. So
with your handgun?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll just keep pursuing and see what we can do with the rest of this area. We don't have much farther to go here, and we may circle around in this same area and come back on the other side. Yeah. And who knows?
Push it back towards the road.
Toward the road on the other side, yeah. Go through some new area there.
Yeah. I think
okay.
that sounds good.
Well, there you go. Okay, now you're regrouped, and after that last rabbit we shot, and we're going to try an area that is across a little creek that looks and has been decent over the years. And we're all going to walk in and then walk to the probably the north a little ways, and then come back out and go back to the original area we were in. So we're going to try this just for maybe 10 or 15 minutes in here. And they're all lined up about 15 yards apart. And we're going to try this area. It's not a very big area, but we've had success in there. And they're walking away from the sun, so they're going to be able to see fairly well. And looks like a really good tag alder area in there, and some down stumps, and quite a few spruce trees when you get in there. That's what they like, rabbits, this time of day. They have to hide. And hiding, they do very well. And if you can get into their niches where they're hiding, that's what you're looking for. Okay, we just heard a report, a shot from the area where Roger is, so we're going to be working our way over there and seeing what he has. He saw the rabbit earlier, about 2 minutes ago, and now we just heard a shot. So we're going to head over there and see what Roger's got over here in this thick spruce area here. A lot of tracks all around. Great area to hunt, just a perfect area for snowshoe hare. Okay, we got Roger with rabbit coming out. His first one of the day. Looks like a totally white snowshoe hare. And he was using the 410 pump shotgun, which is just a perfect piece of equipment for what we're doing today. The sun is out. It looks like the temperature's come up about 10 degrees since we've come out, almost 20 degrees. Beautiful. Just stand right there, Roger. Just hold it up for a second, would you, just to show what we got there. Okay, great. Okay, just saw a rabbit, and he told me it went to his left, so we were walking through the woods, we looked over, and there he was, and I got it the first shot on this one, finally, today. And there it lies, right under a dead, or a half-dead spruce tree. Perfect country for them. And so I'm heading over to pick it up. And beautiful white snowshoe hare, and just that's what we're looking for right here. Snowshoe hare hunting this time of year, and it goes through the end of February. You just can't beat it. We're coming out with our morning rabbits. We got 5 here, missed a few. The temperatures are getting warmer, the rabbits are getting a little more active. I think that this afternoon is going to really pay off, but 5 rabbits in the morning is actually a pretty good shoot. Okay, here's 3 of our hunters heading back to the truck for lunch. It's about 1 o'clock, time to take a little break. A lot of exercise in there, walking all morning, and it's warmed up nice, so probably able to have lunch and coffee outside and take about an hour break and then head back in for the afternoon hunt. Okay, we're heading to another area here. It's about 3 miles from where we were hunting. It's another area that has a lot of good habitat for rabbits. It's a lot of underbrush, a lot of spruce, a lot of alder, a lot of young popple, and a lot of brush cover on the ground. So we're going to go back here about a mile and probably pull off somewhere and hunt an area that we've hunted before. There's a couple areas in here. Always been successful. And we'll see what we can do back in here. Probably park right along here and probably hunt on both sides. We might split up right now. But a couple guys on one side of the road, a couple guys on the other, and walk back through the brush here. Okay, this is the area we've just stopped. We're going to hunt here. We're going to push this area. It's a kind of a corner. It's not a huge area, but we always see snowshoe hare in this spot. There's a lot of blowdowns and there's a lot of brush on the ground where they hide, and it's a real thick spruce area. So we'll see what we can do here, pushing some rabbits out of here. You just never know, but that's what's so fun about this hunt.
Ask them if there's much for tracks over there.
How are the tracks over there, Roger? Okay. There's tracks, but nothing fresh.
Tom,
Yes.
you want to get out?
Well, I think so. This doesn't look good.
I know I've taken a rabbit out of here before, but I'm just not seeing.
No, it's not, nothing fresh, nothing heavy. Really thick in there. Not a lot of sign. So we're going to change an area here. It looks good, but nothing there.
What do you think going back down that way and working towards the guys?
Why can't you hit them from there?
I can't get a good clean shot.
He's coming your way. Contender. Got it. I don't see it. Oh, there.
I see him.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh. Was that the contender that shot?
No, that's me.
Oh.
That was Roger.
I think you missed him.
I did. I was in this heavy fight. I couldn't even get a shot, you know.
Yeah. We'll go over and see where it's sitting. It ripped about 4 different ways by the time we first saw it. It's a gray one again. Even white on, dark on the head. Okay, here it is. A couple of us came up to it, and it was running all kinds of directions. But there's another snowshoe. First one in the afternoon. And a beautiful day. It's about 2:30. We got about another hour of hunting before the sun gets too low, and that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, Larry's going to go get one here that we just shot. He was actually sitting. We had cut through this area that's very narrow, and a lot of sign and 4 people going through here, so it's just a matter of eventually coming upon one, and there's one right there. It's a beautiful, beautiful snowshoe hare. That's a large one. They run in all sizes. Some of them are a year old, most of them are 6 months old. That looks like probably a year-old one there, and very good. That'll be one for the afternoon.
There you go.
Nice. Maybe.
Good job, guys.
Okay, just saw his eyeball, that's all I saw there. Roger was on a road running parallel to the woods, real thick, heavy woods here, a lot of spruce and balsam. And then the rabbit started to run the opposite way toward the 3 of us approaching. And then it came to a position where it just sat next to a stump, and I saw him and got him this time. And we're going to go up and retrieve it. Very thick tag off. You folks out there want to do some hunting, this is the kind of stuff you got to get into right here. This heavy tag alder with spruce and balsam. And when you do that, you're almost guaranteed you're going to get some rabbits if there's that rabbit pocket in the area. Over here. And the man on the road, Roger, was the one that first spotted him, so without him being up there, we wouldn't have even probably seen this one. It's like a younger one, smaller rabbit. Very small. This year's rabbit. And there we are, successful again. Right through the tag alder. Okay, we got at the end of that drive, out of that short bunch of woods, we did get 2 hares, and that took about
25 minutes or so to walk through there, maybe a half an hour. And now we're going to regroup. We're going to walk back to our vehicle and try one more area before the sunset. We probably got about a half an hour of hunting yet before we clean the rabbits. And we'll show you how to do that.
Okay, this is our final hunt of the day. It's probably going to take us about 20 minutes to walk through there. We're going to try some of the popple area, the short new growth popple area, maybe 5 to 10 years old, because at this time of the night the rabbits' hares are starting to come into this area to feed. They like feeding on popple bark at this time of the year, and this is where we're going to try and see if they're coming into this area. There's a swamp down below, and so maybe they're coming out of the swamp. We might be able to run into them there. So this will be our last hunt of the night before we clean the rabbits before dark. All right, this is the end of our hunt today. It's about a half an hour before sunset, and one of the nicest things to have, Dan, is a fire.
Oh yeah.
So friendly, so welcome.
Oh, and it
they like
your
this
hands too.
It does. It warms you up a little bit too.
Yeah.
Although the temperature, I think, is probably up to about 25 degrees now.
Yeah.
But here's our product of our hunt right here. We got 8 rabbits sitting here, hares, snowshoe hares, and we're going to clean them now and get them all ready to take home. And what we're going to do is skin them and take the hindquarters and the loins off of them, and we'll kind of show you how to do that a little bit. And I think the best part of the hunt is being with good friends out there hunting, having a good camaraderie, and ending a day with a fire and maybe a sip of pop afterwards, and
hot blueberry pie. Made in a
and you know, if you want to have a good time in the Northwoods and you think winter is boring, take a look at what we're doing here. It's one heck of a good time. So we'll end this right after this. We'll show you how to skin the rabbit. Yes.
What put a polish to this whole operation
yes.
is the fact that we had a good cameraman.
We do have a good cameraman.
In here.
We'll get the cameraman in here right now.
I'm going to go switch spots with Leo.
Okay. And Leo. He's been doing a couple shows with me. He does wonderful on the camera. He follows us around. He goes through the brush. He sits in the garage and watches a deer getting cut up, and now he's going to help us with this skinning these rabbits. So you got to have a guy like this to make things successful.
And maybe have little refreshments along the way.
Yes. Okay, Dan and I are going to clean a couple rabbits here, and it's pretty simple, really. Dan, you do the same thing I do. You just take the fur on the back and you cut through, and then you just peel it off. You take the suture there and just peel it both ways, and that takes care of all the fur. It doesn't get on the meat, and basically you got your rabbit right there. And what you're going to save on this rabbit, where the meat is, and what you're going to salvage, there's very little meat on the front end of a rabbit, but here's the loins right here, the outside loins. The inside loins are inside, very small. We're going to save the rabbit from about here back. There's a lot of meat on the legs, of course, so we're going to cut the rabbit right in half right here, and then save all this meat, the loins on the inside, and all the leg. And that's what we're going to be taking home with us. Okay, we just skinned the rabbits and we cut them in half, right below the ribs and right above the loins. Actually, just below the shoulders, right, Dan? Pretty much.
Yep.
And here's all the meat that you're going to be using, right here. Now, there's a lot of recipes for snowshoe hare. They are tough. They're really hard to eat unless you parboil them. You put them in the crock pot or whatever with a lot of other things to add to it and a lot of salt. But what I've done and what we do with our rabbits here, this crew, is we get it made into either sausage sticks, or we take it to a sausage maker. You can make it yourself, but you add pork and it makes wonderful Polish sausage, kielbasa, sausage sticks, and you can eat those for the next 6-8 months. Just put them in the freezer. And so what we do is we have a boning party. We get together after the season and we take all the meat off of these bones. And we come up with quite a pile of meat. Then we take that meat either into the butcher, or some of the guys will take it home, make their own sausage. And that's what we do with these. It's a great way to enjoy something that doesn't get hunted very often anymore. It's pretty rare to see people hunting rabbits anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And here we are making use of a product of the woods. of the environment. So, excellent.
I'm going to take a few of these feet with me, and probably some tails and some ears. And my nephew likes to tie flies for trout fishing, so he'll be tying some flies out of these snowshoe hares.
Okay, and when we're done here, we're going to get up here, Dan, and we're going to walk over to the fire, and we're going to show them another reason for this fire. Your hands get pretty cold when you're doing this, especially when it's down around 0. And what a great spot to warm up your hands. It's pretty hard to bring warm water with you to last all day, but boy, this is really nice. I can just feel it right here, and my hands are perfectly warm now. So thanks to our fireman, Dan, here. Okay, that's the end of the show. It's just been a great day. Of course, the weather is really important. When it's windy and it's really, really cold, it's a tough hunt sometimes. You really got to work at it. But we didn't work at it today at all. Boy, you talk about exercise. We got exercise today. We walked all day long for these rabbits, and some of the time there's too much snow. You got to do it sometimes early in the season, because when you get more than 1.5 feet to 2 feet of snow on the ground, it's a lot tougher to hunt. You're going to have to use snowshoes, and sometimes when you use snowshoes, it's hard to get into the areas that are thick where the rabbits are. So that's the end of our little program here, and appreciate you watching, and thanks for watching Just Outdoors, and stay informed.
Mm-hmm.